Hi, welcome to the Old State Farm Sugarhouse. It's late March. The season's beginning to wind down. It's been boiling now for about 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks or so. As you can see, all the snow is melted off, and now we're in the rainy season here in northwestern Pennsylvania. We're going to give you a little tour of the sugarhouse there. You can see the steam rising up from the evaporator there, coming out of the smokestack and the steam pipes. The first thing that we do after we've collected the sap out in the woods is we bring it in here to the sugar house, and we do that with a smaller Dodge pickup. And then we also have a dump truck that we put tanks in the back, and we haul the sap into the sugar house that way. Our sugar bushes are two of our bigger bushes are about an hour's drive, so we've got a long trek when we bring the sap in, and we put a 1,500 gallon that tank right there in the back of this dump truck, and we haul it in that way. And then we also have this smaller Dodge pickup. You can see there's a little bit of sap in there, about 200 gallons we collected from one of our smaller sugar bushes. Once the sap gets transferred into these holding tanks, we filter it through a swimming pool pump filter, which is a diatomaceous earth, what you'd have on your swimming pool at home. And you can see there's the sap being filtered into the tank. This holding tank feeds what we call a reverse osmosis machine, and that's inside the sugar house here. And what that machine does is it concentrates the sap from about 2%, 1.5 to 2% up to about 10%. And so if you look inside here, that stream of water there is pure. That's pure water coming out. And then the concentrated sap goes up into a holding tank, which sits up in this little room here where the RO is kept. That concentrate then feeds the evaporator. Here's the evaporator, and there's a float box in the back corner. You can see that little box off to the right side there. That box controls the level of the sap in the back pan, and this evaporator is outfitted with what's called a preheater, meaning that the cold sap comes in, runs through a series of pipes in the steam hood, and is heated up from roughly 40 degrees up to about 190, maybe 200 degrees by the steam. So we're using the byproduct of the boiling process, the steam, to heat our sap, which then when it enters the evaporator is warmer, and we don't have to bring it up from 40 degrees to 200. It's already at that 200 degree temperature, so it's an increase in efficiency in the evaporator. The evaporator has a back pan, which is called the flue pan, and then we also have what's called a cross-flow front pan. And the flue pan, you're probably not going to be able to see a whole lot, but there you can see the boiling sap there. The flue pan has a corrugated bottom, very deep channel, so there's a large heat transfer there. You get a lot of boiling because there's a large surface area. The front pan has got a flat bottom, and what happens is after the majority of the boiling takes place in this back pan, it's fed by another float, which you can see right there. That's sap being fed into the front pan, and you can see this pan's got a divider right here. The sap comes in, goes to that back corner. There's a little corner knocked. The bottom of that pan, the divider has a little corner knocked out, and so it runs through that channel, comes up through this channel, across through this pipe here, into this pan, to the back corner again, and then it's boiling. This is almost syrup boiling right here. And you can see there's actually some syrup coming out of the evaporator right now. And that's being controlled by this device here on the wall. And you can see the temperature in the evaporator is 218.4, and the set point is 218.0. And so what happens is when this number here reaches 218, the draw valve opens up, and as you can see that number is beginning to drop. And there it's going to shut off now. The red light's out. And you can see that there's no more syrup coming out. That is all being controlled by a temperature probe, which is right here. That temperature probe extends into the evaporator about 10 inches. And we monitor the temperature because we know that syrup boils at 7.1 degrees above the boiling point of water. And so when it reaches that temperature that we've checked with a thermometer and a boiling pan of water, we know where to set our temperature gauge. And we also can use what's called a hydrometer to check that as well. To do all this evaporation, this boiling, we use firewood, and you can see here we fire the evaporator about every 5 to 8 minutes to keep a really hot fire. And so we're able to use, down trees and things like that from the woods. We cut the wood in the summer, let it dry, and then we bring it in here, and you can see we got a little small stack laying there that's going to go in the next time. So that's sort of maple syrup 101, you could say, here at Old State Farms. A lot of people do it differently. Some people would use fuel oil as a heating source, but we use firewood. It's a clean way to do it. We have a very efficient evaporator. It has several fans, so we have a very clean combustion using all the smoke and everything as well. Hope this has been instructional for you. If you have any questions or want to learn more about boiling or the whole process of making maple syrup, you're welcome to call, email, stop by sometime in the spring when we're boiling syrup. You can check out our website, oldstatefarms.com, and we have directions to the Sugarhouse. My contact information is on there as well. And if you're ever in the area, Emmleton, Pennsylvania, beautiful town along the Allegheny River, we have a gift shop inside a building called the Hardwood Mall, which sells a lot of fine hardwood products. We also have our gift shop is in there with all our maple syrup products for sale. So we hope this has been instructional, and thanks for taking the time to watch.